The worst kind of theft isn't when someone breaks into your home and takes your stuff, it's when they steal your life's work legally, right under your nose. My name's Nathan Carter, and I'm just a wheat farmer from Willow Creek, Montana. Last spring, on April 12, 2024, I got a call that hit me like a freight train. My family's 3,000-acre farm, passed down through 4 generations, was sold without my knowledge. Some woman named Victoria Langston had forged my signature and turned my heritage into a glossy brochure for her $30 million luxury estate. But she didn't know who she was messing with. I'm no pushover, and what I uncovered about her empire of lies will leave you speechless. Where are you reading this from? Because this story of revenge is about to get wild. I was out on my combine, live streaming the wheat harvest to my modest 300 followers. Yeah, I know, farmer influencer wasn't exactly my dream job, but folks seem to enjoy watching honest dirt under the nails work. My phone buzzed in my pocket, and I answered, expecting a seed supplier or maybe a neighbor. Instead, a clipped, professional voice said, "Mr. Carter, this is Langston Properties. You're in violation of HOA Covenant 52C for unauthorized agricultural activity." I nearly dropped the phone. Unauthorized? On my own land. I asked her to repeat it, thinking I'd misheard. She doubled down, cold as ice. $20,000 fine. Payable in 30 days, or we foreclose. My head spun. Foreclose on what? This land's been ours since my great-grandfather bought it with his savings in 1946. I told her there was no HOA here, never had been. Her response? Check your mail, Mr. Carter. The paperwork was sent months ago. Then she hung up, like she'd just ordered a coffee, not dropped a bomb on my life. I drove back to the house, still covered in dust, and tore through a pile of neglected mail. Harvest season's brutal, so yeah, I'd let things stack up. Buried under seed catalogs and tax notices was an envelope from Langston Meadows HOA. My hands shook as I ripped it open. Inside was a packet of bylaws, covenants, and a signature page with my namey signature, perfectly forged, on documents I'd never seen. Worse, there was a glossy brochure for Langston Estates, $30 million luxury redefined. The cover showed an aerial view of a sprawling resort golf courses, a spa, manicured gardens. And there, right in the middle, was my wheat field, digitally erased and replaced with a putting green. My barn. Gone, swapped for some fancy pavilion. Victoria Langston, the HOA president, had woven my land into her fake luxury complex, claiming my farming violated her rules. The audacity made my blood boil. I called my old college buddy, Sarah Kim, a real estate lawyer based in Billings. I figured she'd laugh, tell me it was a scam we could squash with a quick letter. But as I read her the documents over the phone, her voice grew tense. Nathan, you can't be forced into an HOA after owning property. This smells like a land grab. Land grab? The words hit like a cold slap. This wasn't a clerical error, it was deliberate. Someone was trying to steal my family's legacy. I started digging into Victoria Langston. She owned a stunning $30 million estate on just 6 acres, 3 mansions, a guest lodge, an infinity pool, tennis courts, the works. But here's the catch. Luxury developers like Pinnacle Resorts, her supposed buyers, needed at least 120 acres for their projects. Victoria's solution? Look at the farmers and small homeowners around her, people like me, and decide, I'll just take their land. Sarah found marketing materials showing her estate photoshopped onto a 120-acre sprawl, including my farm and 11 other properties. Victoria had forged HOA documents for all of us, using signatures lifted from public records. This wasn't a one-off scam, it was premeditated, industrial-scale fraud. The deeper we dug, the uglier it got. Victoria was drowning in $35 million of debt on a property appraised at $30 million. Her plan was to steal enough land to create a 120-acre estate, sell it to Pinnacle for $60 million, pay off her debts, and pocket the rest. Our homes, our histories, were just pawns in her scheme. Sarah found proof she'd already used my land as collateral for a $6 million bank loan land she didn't own. This wasn't just fraud, it was federal banking crime, the kind that lands you in prison for decades. I sat in my kitchen that night, staring out at the golden fields my great-grandfather planted, my father expanded, and I'd worked since I was a kid. The thought of some city slicker in a mansion worth more than my entire town, turning it into a playground for rich tourists, made me sick. Victoria probably thought she was a genius, elevating our backward rural area. But she underestimated us. Farmers fight against storms, pests, and markets that try to crush us every year. We don't roll over for forged paperwork and fake HOAs. Sarah's research uncovered a chilling detail in Victoria's calendar. Carter problem. Final solution. 10:30 a.m., April 13th. My stomach dropped. Final solution? Was she planning to torch my barn? Frame me? Worse? I didn't sleep that night, checking my locks like a paranoid fool. But after learning the depths of her scam, paranoia felt rational. By dawn, Sarah called with worse news. Nathan, Victoria's been running this scam for 3 years. You're victim number 14. 14. 13 families had already lost their land. Like 80-year-old Clara Thompson, who lost her family's orchard to Westfield Estates HOA, or 76-year-old George Miller, now in a tiny apartment after losing his dairy farm. Victoria targeted the elderly, isolated, and vulnerable, striking when they were least able to fight after deaths, during medical crises, or when taxes were due. She'd forge HOAs, slap fake fines, and foreclose when they couldn't pay, using the stolen land to secure loans for her lavish lifestyle. When the local news caught wind, Victoria went into damage control, hiring a slick PR firm to paint herself as a visionary developer attacked by a bitter farmer. But her plan backfired spectacularly. In a live TV interview, standing in front of her gleaming mansion, she called my farming rural blight. The clip went viral, and the internet tore her apart, calling her everything from an elitist to a thief. Rural communities nationwide shared it, exposing her as a predator. My neighbor, Lisa Harper, had been Victoria's biggest cheerleader, posting about protecting our $30 million property values. But after meeting Clara and hearing her story, Lisa broke. At a community meeting, tears streaming, she said, "I was defending fake wealth while real families suffered. How many others are out there?" Her transformation was electric. She went from Victoria's mouthpiece to a fierce advocate, using her social media to connect victims across 7 states. Sarah's investigation revealed Victoria's mansion wasn't just a home, it was the hub of a criminal empire. Clara's orchard sale paid for the marble floors. George's farm funded the infinity pool. Every chandelier was bought with stolen dreams. Victoria had studied her targets like a hunter, timing her scams for maximum vulnerability. The evidence was damning. 62 forged signatures, fake appraisals inflating land values by 40%, and $15 million in fraudulent loans. The State Real Estate Board launched an investigation, and Agent Daniels told me, "This is bigger than land theft, Nathan. This is organized crime across state lines." Then came the bombshell. An anonymous tip, voice disguised, pointed to a Cayman Islands company, Langston Holdings, and a name Daniel Kim. Sarah's face went white when I told her. "Daniel's my estranged brother," she whispered. "Disbarred for fraud in Oregon 5 years ago." Her shock was real, but it crushed me to think the person I trusted most was tied to this. The FBI swooped in, raiding Victoria's mansion in a scene straight out of a movie. I watched from my porch as black SUVs rolled up, agents swarming her gilded gates. Lisa live-streamed it, narrating like a sports commentator. "This is justice, folks. Her empire of lies is crumbling." As they cuffed Victoria, she whispered something to Agent Daniels that drained his face of color. "She told us where the bodies are buried," he said. My mind raced. Bodies. Was she a murderer too? Thankfully, bodies was her code for hidden evidence. The FBI found storage units across 4 states with records of 30 more victims' families, so broken they never reported the crimes, swallowed by shame and poverty. The total theft hit $50 million across 82 properties in 14 states. Victoria and Daniel had run this since 2013, perfecting their scam with each victim, turning theft into a science. Victoria's defamation lawsuit against me was her biggest mistake. It opened discovery, handing Sarah every email, bank record, and forged document. The contrast was stark. Victoria in her mansion versus Clara, an 80-year-old widow, explaining on TV how she lost everything. Victoria's interviews only dug her deeper. I transformed underutilized rural areas into luxury destinations, she said, oblivious to the outrage. Lisa's redemption shone brighter. She stood at a town hall, cameras rolling, and said, I was wrong. I protected lives while families suffered. I'm fixing this. The room erupted in applause. When Pinnacle pulled their $60 million offer, Victoria's world collapsed. With her assets frozen, she faced foreclosure. The state and FBI probes escalated, and a bomb threat during her sentencing linked to Daniel's supporters showed how deep their network ran. Federal marshals protected us, a grim reminder that justice came with risks. The trial was a masterclass in prosecution. 18 charges, 8 years of evidence, and 82 victim testimonies painted an airtight case. Victoria's final statement was delusional. I built a $30 million masterpiece that lifted this region. History will vindicate me. The courtroom gasped. Clara spoke of losing her trust in authority. George mourned 40 years of work erased. I told the judge, Victoria saw us as obstacles, not people. But our fight proves communities can win when we stand together. Judge Larson sentenced Victoria to 20 years and $18 million in restitution. Daniel got 25 years across 3 countries. The mansion, overvalued at $22 million, was auctioned for $17.5 million to our victim coalition. Clara, now 82, bid with shaking hands, saying, This was built on our dreams. Now it'll serve our needs. The estate became the Willow Creek Justice Center, offering legal aid and fraud education. The Infinity Pool, now a memorial garden honoring lost legacies. 2 years later, on April 12, 2026, I stand in that garden, watching families learn to protect their land. Clara runs the center with fire in her eyes. Lisa travels, teaching communities to fight back. Sarah's law practice inspires others, and our wedding here last fall felt like a middle finger to Victoria's greed. My farm thrives, blending agritourism with advocacy. The Langston Prevention Act, now in 40 states, stops fake HOAs, and our app has saved 50 properties. But something nags at me. Victoria and Daniel's operation was too slick, too vast for just 2 people. That bomb threat hinted at a bigger network. During sentencing, a bailiff's urgent whisper made Judge Larson pale, evacuating the court. What was it? Are there others out there, still preying on the vulnerable? This fight changed us, but it's not over. What do you think? Can justice ever fully heal the wounds of stolen heritage? Was Victoria a mastermind or a pawn in something bigger? And how far would you go to protect your family's legacy? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe. You're in this together.